Let's get more news now on that launch of the SpaceX rocket that's happened. Dr. Carly Howett is Assistant Director of the Department of Space Studies at the Southwest Research Institute. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, can you explain what's so special about this particular rocket?
There's a couple of things that are particularly important about it. The big one being this is preparation for launching people. Traditionally, only governments have launched people, NASA, ESA, the Chinese, the Russians, but this is a commercial launch vehicle. And so it's basically sort of breaking into a traditionally sort of a governmental market, and it's going to really expand what we can do, but it's also going to provide a US crew, a way of launching US crews to the International Space Station. At the moment, the shuttle was retired, as I'm sure you know, and the US have been relying on the Russian Soyuz rockets, which are due to expire this year. I think they're actually going to expire next year now. But this gives us a new way of getting people to the International Space Station, so it's very exciting.
Is there also something special about the Dragon vehicle that means that NASA can do this at this time? I mean, I understand it's almost recyclable.
It is. And so one of the amazing things that SpaceX has been able to achieve is that it can reuse a lot of the components that go into the SpaceX vehicles. And so you might have seen previous videos of the boosters landing amazingly on barges in the middle of the Atlantic. And so that drives down the cost, which is a really important thing for anyone that works in the space industry, because the cost of the launch vehicles is traditionally one of the most expensive part of any mission. And so anytime we can decrease that cost, it means we get a little bit more science for the same amount of dollars. So that's a really great result.
It's also extraordinary that it's all automated. I mean, the science has come an incredibly long way. What does it mean now for space exploration in terms of perhaps letting us do something that we couldn't do before?
I think the world is their oyster, to be honest. I mean, they've shown time and time again that they can do the hard things that are required for spaceflight. And so this, of course, didn't have people on it. I think their next big test is going to show that they can successfully and safely launch people. And if they can do that, which there's all indications from this launch, it was incredibly successful, look like they can. Now, the launch isn't quite there yet. The capsule hasn't docked with the International Space Station, so there's a few things ahead of them. That's due to happen Sunday. And so we'll be looking to see how that goes. But so far, it's been a great success for them.
So just briefly, if this continues to be successful, beyond docking with the International Space Station, what does it mean for the exploration of deep space, perhaps?
Well, that's the bit that I'm particularly interested in. That's my area of expertise. And so what I'm hoping is anytime there's a commercial player, that there's more breaking into the market, it drives the cost down. And so my hope is that this really starts decreasing the cost of every launch that we see. And thus we can maybe launch more satellites for the same amount of dollars. And so we'll be getting more science for a buck. That's my big hope.
All right, well, we'll keep an eye on it as it attempts to dock with the ISS. Dr. Carly Howett, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.